Hi everyone, welcome to Ponderings of the Priest. In this Advent season, it's a time for us to be a little more introspective and reflective of our lives and what's going on in our lives. And what I'd like to offer for us to ponder together today is how can I be in right relationship with other human beings? How can I learn to share the sandbox? How can I, live the fruits of the Spirit of patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, humility, self-control, and self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice comes from St. Francis. And part of that is there's a couple of factors, a couple of dynamics that we can include. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, but something for us this week to ponder. A couple of basic practices, if you will, on living in right relationship with other people. And I've learned these things mostly through my failures by not doing these things. The first is mutual respect. Respect that just because it's my opinion, it doesn't have to be your opinion. I don't agree to disagree because then I'm being condescending. I just agree that we don't have to agree, that we don't agree. And I respect the fact that you have your life and your opinion, and it might be different than mine, but I will still respect that. I don't have to agree with it maybe, but I do have to respect it. To appreciate each other for our strengths, for the goodness that is inside each and every one of us, for our differences, to actually appreciate that. Then the next one is to not triangulate. You know, when your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or your cousin or your neighbor says, "Can you talk to Jane or John? I'm having trouble with this, and do you know they're doing that? And maybe you could tell them that." Don't do that. It's called triangulating. And it's never a healthy dynamic in any kind of relationship at all, ever. And so what you can say to your brother or uncle or mother or father or whoever it is who's asked you to do these things, or if you're doing it yourself, stop doing it. Speak to the person directly. If you have an issue, if you have a concern, if you have something, go directly to that person and resolve that. And that is biblically founded in the Gospel of Mark. Mind your own business. Do you know how many times I walk around saying, "Mind your own business, Brenda"? Nobody asked your opinion. Advice is nothing more than me trying to impose my agendas on you and the way I think things should be done. We need to mind our own business. And if our opinion is not asked for, if it's none of our business, if I have nothing to do with it, even if I have an opinion about it, I don't need to share that. And then everyone has the right to be wrong. Everyone has a right to be wrong. We all have our own journeys. It is generally through our mistakes that we learn things. And what it is there for me to do in being in right relationship with another human being is just to support that person in their journey. When they ask for my opinion, to give it to them. And if I have a concern about their well-being, to speak to that person directly about that. And all of these things tie up into a package we can call boundaries. Healthy boundaries, where I focus on myself. I look at the log in my own eye, as Jesus tells us, instead of the splinter in yours. I don't worry about my neighbor. I don't judge my neighbor. There's one judge, and it's not me. And so I don't triangulate. I mind my own business. I respect your right to be wrong and make mistakes, and I set healthy boundaries. I have really good relationships with people when I do this. And the other thing is, I don't need to manage outcomes. If I have to win, we both lose. If in any relationship we are colliding on perhaps what you might want to call our desires, our instincts, our need to have things our way, whenever I have to win, we both lose. And so the goal is to work on hearing each other, respecting each other, appreciating each other, and coming up with a common solution. Instead of having to win, we identify what an issue is and we say, how can we solve this together? And so those are just a couple of things on living in right relationship. If we're not doing them, to stop doing whatever we're doing and to start to practice these things. Something to ponder for the week. Have a nice day, everybody.